Yo, what's up guys? It's your homie Confirm from Wash Cooks, and this is gonna be our Kodai complete Kodai AIO complete tutorial. First, let's start off with homepage. Here you have your dashboard. You can check for updates. Home sends you to the Kodai hub. Twitter, uh, this sends you to their link over here. Pretty useless. I mean, no one even. I'll use it. I don't see why you would use it. This is the only main button here. You go to releases, or actually let's start with settings. In settings, you're gonna have your Discord webhook here. You can put your webhook from your own server, whatever. This is where you can click for it to send successful notifications. Only send successful notifications. That way it won't send like payment failed, card declines. I have it on most of the time, but that's up to you. This is include useful slot info and webhooks. This will send the email and the name of the person that you hit the pair for, and you click to configure your preferred sizing. You'll see later on why this is useful, but that's their automatically report program errors. This is for store specific settings. I don't really mess with it. PayPal with pay with PayPal profile option. Now this is this isn't the PayPal bypass, but this is like for Shopify and other sites if you want to use PayPal. Deactivate license key, save changes. It's a big thing on Kodai. You always have to save changes. Here you have captchas. These are all different Gmails. You put the Gmails in. This is how you log into a Gmail. Add an account. Let's do. Continue. Account proxy. No proxy. Then you log in, you'd fill it out, and there you'd have your captcha solver. Here you can like test your captcha solvers like that, waiting for results. And this isn't like an actual test of what the captcha solver's speed is, or like what the captcha solver's rating is. This is just to make sure the captcha solver actually works. And yep, there, the solver is in perfect shape. Moving on, we have proxies. Here, I'm not gonna click on these, but basically what you do is, because I'll leak my proxies, but what you do is you input your proxies. Oh shit, god damn it, I leaked it. Okay, I'll have to blur that out, but you paste your proxies and you save it as. Okay, so let's say I want to keep an empty proxy list. I'll name it localhost, and I'll just save it as resi. Save proxies, and then I can go here and delete it. Or I can also do, if you want to test proxies, you can go to test proxies. Let's test ISP DCs, test specific store, and let's test them on Kodai. Footlocker EU and Footlocker is the exact same thing, so you just click Footlocker EU, testing proxies. So go through, it'll test all your proxies for you. It's just an inbuilt proxy tester. Moving on to profiles. This is where you have all your profiles. You can import, export profiles in the Kodai JSON format. This is how you create a profile. Continue, United States, fill out all your information, and that's it. Moving on to releases. This is actually like the more in-depth part of this tutorial, but basically, let's say you have a bunch of stores. For Supreme, EU, Japan, US are all same. Let's say I want to make a Supreme US group. Let's name it Soup Tutorial. I create the release, and here you can choose keywords. Let's just make it key. That'll be my keyword for now. Proxies, we'll use ISP DC proxies. I always turn on auto retry on fail, but all it does is if you get payment failed, it just keeps on retrying. Always remember to save changes. You always have to do that. You always have to save changes. Like look, I press t-shirts, I go here, I come back, and it will be gone. So you always have to press save changes. Save changes. Let's add tasks. Let's make it random. You have all your sizing, everything. The most annoying thing on Kodai is you have to make each task individually. You can't choose multiple profiles to make tasks for, and you can't choose size ranges. The only size range you can choose is the preferred. Like this is, remember how I was talking about preferred back here in settings? That's what preferred sizes is. You can choose one set of preferred sizes, and that's all you can use. It's probably one of the most annoying things on Kodai, but in the end, it's Kodai, so you can't really complain. Uh, there, let's just choose that. We have our task. You have different modes now. Kodai, as of now, Kodai recommends running safe or hybrid. Safe is better, but it's also very CPU intensive. So run some safe tasks, also run some hybrid tasks. Because Pookie bypasses clip, this is virtually useless, and there's no need to it. Color, you choose your color. Always remember to keep it caps, no matter what color you choose. And that's about it. I start it. So waiting for a product. I don't think there's anything with T up. So if we went to t-shirts, we went to pants, and we typed in pant. Save changes, start. Oh, it picked up something. You see that? Now, I could go through and it would check out, but I'm not really trying to do that. So, to actually, like show how it works, I'll go ahead and make a test profile test. Continue. Let's put it in United States. Make it John Doe. Let's make the city Atlanta. Their state. We'll make the billing address the same, email address. Call holder, John Doe. Alright, now let's just save the Oh, something is wrong with your payment address. Oh yeah. There, that should work. Alright, we got the fake profile, random, test profile, save changes, start. Right now it'll work because you don't really need any mode, generating Pookie. OOS, checking restocks. Let's look for something. I'll find a in-stock product to help us do this. Okay, so it looks like we have these in stock. Or I think I found a better one. Let's do keychain. Keychain is a good one. Let's make it accessories. Okay, now this is annoying. Let's stop. You always have to stop a task if you want to like change the color or something. Save changes, start. It's gonna wait for CAPTCHA and you go open up a CAPTCHA solver. Let's click that, open solver. Oh, bad card details, you saw that? So what happened there is I got a one click, so I didn't even have to solve a CAPTCHA, and it was bad card details, so I went to bad card details. That's basically how Supreme works. And let's delete this release. You have next, let's go to foot sites. Main is foot sites, and finish line and JD are the big thing for Kodai. Let's do Foot Locker. Create release. This is a lot easier. ISP DC, or I already have a release up here. The recent drop for the carbons, I'm running restocks for personal again on these, so I put ISPDC. This is from before. You can ignore that. That was from the actual drop time. If you want to schedule start, you can schedule the bot drop time. I put in ISPDC proxies. This is the basic delay that Kodai suggests, so I use it. Product SKU, monitor type SKU. You make your task. There's PayPal option, which I would recommend using, but as of right now, I don't really see the need to, as PayPal orders are getting canceled as much as normal orders. Same goes for Champs, East Bay, Foot Action, all of the foot sites. Now you have Finish Line. Finish Line and JD are virtually the exact same thing when it comes to setting up, so I'll just go over one of them. You create Finish Line, right? You put your long ass product SKU, proxies, and then the confusing part is, do I click desktop or mobile? Now here's the thing, almost 99% of the time desktop is the option which passes queue and has sales, because what JD and Finish Line do is they release desktop and permaqueue mobile, or they release mobile and permaqueue desktop. So what I would recommend doing is making 2 sets of tasks, Finish Line desktop and Finish Line mobile. Once one of them picks up, switch the other task to desktop and just cook out. That's about it for Finish Line. Now let's move on to Yeezy Supply. Yeezy Supply on Kodai isn't exactly the best thing as of now. I do appreciate how they do have a Google reCAPTCHA v3 sharing, which means you don't need a Gmail. You just open up your captcha solver and Kodai gives you a 0.9 Gmail. So for this, you choose ISPDC, you put in your product link for the shoe, product SKU, export method, browser, or checkout. So browser or auto checkout. Browser is, I wouldn't recommend doing this unless you're running like 15 to 20 tasks. And why that is because what this will do is the moment you pass queue, it will open up a tab with the checkout page open, which if you're running like 200 tasks, 10 tasks pass queue and 10 tabs open, I guarantee your server is gonna crash. Like, it's gonna start lagging a lot. So I choose auto checkout, and here what I do is allow the option to export a task if auto checkout fails. Now that means if the auto checkout fails, I can export it into a tab and manually complete the checkout myself. You can also do this, send a Discord webhook notification when a task has splash. Now I used to do this, but I wouldn't recommend doing it, as towards the end of the release, when KodaiAIO goes out of when the drop goes out of stock, Kodai just sends spams past splash notifications to your webhooks, and that's why I usually have it turned off. This is your captcha solving method, 2 captcha or captcha harvester. I always use captcha harvester. Save changes, add tasks. Now here's the thing, you can either use like actual profiles or you can just do NA profile. So if you read this bottom part, basically what NA profile means is once a task passes splash, you can actually choose what profile you want it to check out with, or you can just go ahead and choose which profile you want to check out with, and you choose your sizing, and that's about it. Actually, let's make a task and show what it's like. Then you have browser. Browser is more CPU intensive. I would recommend running below 10 tasks for sure of browser mode, depending on your server. If you have a really good server, you can maybe even run up to 25, depending on how many other tasks you're running. But this is super CPU intensive, as it literally like opens up a browser and it just waits in queue. That's it for Yeezy Supply. It's the exact same for Adidas, but you have the option to add accounts. Now let's move on to Shopify. For Shopify, let's do Kit, because Kit is arguably the most popular Shopify site. Oh, whoops. Alright, so let's choose ISPDC. Kodai's monitor delays, I would leave it, but most of the time what people do is they'll go like 999 10 minutes before the drop, then they'll go to 3333 and they'll save changes. Now Shopify is probably the hardest thing to set up on KodaiAIO, and this is basically how you do it. Let's do something simple, Nike as our keyword. never turn forced captcha on. If you want, turn new products only, which is during drop time. So this is so you don't actually check out a product which is not the product you're trying to check out. Intense keyword monitoring, I wouldn't do that, as on Kit everyone uses an early link and I've never used keywords on Kit, but for this I'll just use keywords. Nike, let's do random, and on our test profile create a task, save changes. Now here you have all these different options. I've never used bypass or bypass 3 and I would not recommend using it. And swift shipping is Kodai's way of saying shipping rates. Swift shipping is literally just shipping rates. Pre-shared settings, you can do shipping rates, and it's this over here. Click to go to your shipping manager, save a shipping rate, confused, and you basically make all your shipping rates over here. Now let's go back to the release. Let's choose save for this one. Save changes and start. Submitting details, submitting shipping, and this is basically the entire process. As you can see, we did not get a CAPTCHA, and that is because Kit does not have their bot protection on right now due to the fact that there's nothing hype dropping. And that pretty much wraps up our KodaiAIO tutorial. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment down below.